How's it going?
Yeah, good. Do you want to introduce our guest?
We have today the lovely Carly from Graze Bar and Social Media with Carly.
I'm excited to be here.
It's good to have you on. Thanks a lot for coming. And you don't have to be so nervous, don't worry.
Do we touch fists?
Oh, what is this? Your little BroNups thing, is it?
Yeah, you could join in too.
Yeah,
I thought you were ghosting me then.
Nah, I remember earlier when you came in, you said you don't shake hands.
No,
So I don't know if you fist bump.
that's a bit bro-ish for me too.
Yeah.
Well, you just did it now. BroNups star.
How's it going with you, Shiz?
Yeah, all good. How about you?
Yeah, man, all good. Can't complain. Life is good. And what about you, Carly?
Yeah, all good for me. A little bit busy at the moment. Obviously, new business and everything like that. But yeah.
So busy with what? What are you doing today?
Well, this morning I went down to the Graze. I had to clean it, put the Graze boards together. I've got a girl that does it for me on a Saturday. Well, she usually does every other Saturday.
All right, let's take it back and say, so your business, your first business, the Graze. Why don't you talk us through how that started?
Oh God,
what it is, the evolution, and
I hate telling this story because to me it's the most boring story ever.
but it isn't to our viewers.
No, maybe not. So it all started. When was lockdown? Now was that 2019?
2020.
Was it
2020,
was it?
March 2020.
Yeah, I'd been made redundant from my job.
Where were you working?
I was working down on the Portbury docks for a recruitment company. Well, it wasn't. It was a logistics company, but I was doing recruitment and some other little bits and bobs within there. And anyway, they kind of knew Corona was coming and all this lot. Anyway, they were laying some people off. So me and my ex-boss, we kind of jumped ship before we were pushed type thing. So I was just not working.
So what, you got like an inside track, did you? So you knew that you would lose a job before it happened?
Yeah.
Was that because they were getting rid of loads of people? Or
Yeah,
is it specifically
yeah.
you pointing out? Or not?
No, it was like loads of people. So
Okay.
I was just like, do you know what? I'm feeling a bit lazy anyway.
Would you say you were lazy? Were you a bad member of staff then?
Yeah.
You were?
Oh my God, terrible.
Why? What do you do?
This is why it's not that I'm lazy. I can't be told what to do. This is why I've got my own businesses. I can't work for people.
Right, okay.
Full stop. Like it could be anything. Whether you're telling me to do a big task, whether you're telling me to make you a cup of tea.
So you won't make me a cup of tea if I ask for one?
Yeah, but you're not my boss. It's like the authority thing for me.
Right.
Like, as a friend, I will make you everything. I'll be the most generous host ever.
Yeah.
If you're my boss, you want to tell me to do something, no, absolutely not. Get out of here. No.
So have you lost a lot of jobs because of this?
Oh, I've walked out of every single job I've ever had. I've never been
got something in
sacked.
common with us then.
I've never been sacked.
Yeah.
Not that I can think of. I'll probably think of a few that I probably have been sacked from later. But no, I just leave because I'm like, you're not talking to me like crap.
Yeah.
You're not telling me what to do. Even if like you're paying me to do a job and you need to tell me to do it, I'm still like, this isn't for me.
What's the longest you've had a job?
It was probably the last job that I was in, the logistics company, because my boss, he was lovely and he knew what I was about when he hired me, and he was more of a friend than a boss to me. So I just used to go there. I've got kids, so it was like a 9 till 3 kind of job.
How old are your kids? They need a lot of attention? Are they like young, old?
No, so I've got 2 older children.
Yeah.
So I've got Ella, she's 21 now.
Yeah.
Thea works at the bar, she's 20.
Right.
And then I've got Louis and Ava, they're 13 and 11.
Okay.
So they were a little bit younger at the time. So yeah, I didn't have anyone to do the school and stuff like that. So it was just like a part-time job. But I just used to rock up. After being at 9, I'd rock up about 9:45 every morning.
Right.
He'd be like, where have you been? I'd be like, pfft.
And you didn't get fired?
No.
Do you know if someone comes into my place and they're acting like they own the place like that, my resentment would get so high so fast. You wouldn't be able to walk out. I'd be throwing you out the door.
I don't know what it was there. Like, I just used to get away with murder, but everyone said, like, even though you don't do what you're told, you rock up whenever, you take about 20 fag breaks a day. I don't smoke anymore, but I did at the time.
Nice.
And every time I went out for one, I'd be gone for a good 20 minutes. I must have done about an hour of work a day. And they were like, I was like, I didn't know I didn't get fired, but they said that I just brought something to the office that nobody else did. Like, it was a bit of a like miserable place. I'd come in and be really fun, like happy. Do you know what I mean?
So is it the Great Depression now that you've left?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
well, the place is shut down now. So.
Has it? That's because of you, isn't it?
Yeah. But no, it's a big Russian company, and I think they've gone bust or whatever. But yeah, I did have, and I still miss that job.
Right.
Like, if they, because I didn't really do it.
So is it regret then?
No, not at all.
Oh, I guess they were shut anyway, but like...
Yeah, they were shutting anyway, and it was like a minimum wage.
It's
like,
interesting you
job.
say that then. Before you start saying how it actually came, do you... If that could have stayed open, do you wish you were still working for someone versus having your own business then?
No, it was more of a social thing there, you
Right,
know?
okay.
So I don't miss the job, I miss the people, I guess.
Okay.
Me and James always say that too. Like the good thing about jobs is you could just go over and chill with friends and make friends. There's no like
Yeah.
responsibility. So
Yeah.
you get paid by the hour. It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
It's like a social club, isn't it?
Yeah.
And that's why a lot of people have jobs.
Yeah, that's how I treated the job, like a social club, and I just got away with it somehow. But
So you left the job.
so I left the job.
You need money.
Yeah, I needed money, and I was trying to think of all these ways that I could make money without going to work for someone else, because I was like, you're just not cut out for it, love.
And did you have ideas before you came up with what you came up with?
No, I can't remember, to be honest. I probably did like some harebrained, quick, rich schemes or something. And they were probably going on in my head. But anyway, my friend came out to visit me and the kids.
Yeah.
And she brought these bags of pick and mix with her. And I was like, oh, they're nice. Like, where'd you get them from? She was like, oh, this is what I'm doing now. She was like, I'm like selling them. I was like, what? I was like, you were working in hairdressers last time I spoke to you. What do you mean? She was like, yeah, I'm selling these sweets. It's going really well. She was like, why don't you do it? I was like, what? I was like, I work in recruitment. I don't like go around selling sweets. What are you talking about? She was like, get yourself up Macro, get yourself some boxes of sweets. You can sell them.
So were you selling in recruitment? You actually, were you recruiting people?
Yeah, well,
All right, so you're actually a
I was meant to
recruitment
be.
Yeah.
I was meant to be, but I didn't really like talking to people on the phone. Like, I do everything through text, so I'd just go to my boss. I'd like pick up the phone. I'd be like, "No, they're not answering."
Right.
I wouldn't even ring them.
Was it a hard business to be in recruitment?
Yeah, I didn't like it.
Right, yeah, it's interesting. I think it's a tough racket, right?
Yeah, it wasn't for me. But I did other things within that company as well. A lot of admin stuff, a little bit of the marketing, stuff like that. It was a bit of a mixed role.
Nice. Sorry, I didn't mean to take you away from that point. I was just interested because we've talked a
that's
bit
all
about
right.
recruitment.
I think we chopped
okay.
it out actually, but yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a tough game, that.
And so your friend's selling
Yeah,
the
so
Haribo.
so we've digressed. So she's selling the Haribo. She says to me, "Why don't you start doing Importer's Ed? I don't think there's anyone else doing it." And I just thought, no. And then like overnight, I thought about it, and I just thought, well, it's probably going to cost me about 20 or 30 quid. So I went up to Macro the next day,
Yep.
bought these boxes of sweets, put it on Facebook that I was doing it. I didn't have like any kind of hygiene rating at this point or anything like that. I was just like, I'll just see what happens.
Yeah.
So I put it on Facebook, and the next day I had like 20 orders for these sweets.
Like, is that like 20 messages in your inbox?
Yeah.
Wow, that's
So-
crazy.
Where did you advertise it? Was that Facebook Marketplace or?
No, it was, I set up an actual like business page.
yeah.
So you-
What was I called? Posset Treats.
Posset Treats.
Yeah.
I like it.
Yeah, because obviously that's like a nickname for Porter's Head.
So the town we live in, guys, is called Posset. Is
Yeah.
what they call it. It's like, the nickname for the town.
Yeah. So
That's crazy. I just want to touch back on that. So we have a lot of people asking, how do you start a business on no money?
Yeah.
So you're saying you started a business on £30 and you came into 20 orders.
Yeah.
Now, how many of these people who ask have £30 lying around? I'm sure a lot of them.
Yeah.
Everyone's got £30 lying around.
Yeah.
There you go.
Literally.
That's amazing.
But
So-
yeah, it might not have even been 30. It might have even been like 20. I
And
don't
can
know.
I also ask, did the 20 orders take all of the stock that you had?
No.
They didn't. So, and how much was each order?
About a tenner.
So you had £200 worth of orders, and you
Yeah.
didn't even use your entirety of the £30
No.
of the stock.
No.
And you got people asking us, how do you start a business? Cha-ching!
Yeah, literally.
So yeah, so the next day I had these 20 orders. So I've like boxed and bagged up the sweets. And then I started, like when that started going well, I started doing these like 25 quid platters of them, which went down well, that had sweets and chocolate in. Anyway, it was going really, really well. I was busy most days, probably making like 200 quid a day, 5-6 days a week. I was like, well, this is good. Like, from my like whatever I was on at the recruitment thing, but back at the time minimum wage, I don't know, it was like £8.50 an hour or something. So I was like, this is great.
And it was hard to make any money because it's the heat of lockdown now, right?
Yeah, and I was like, it was great for me because everybody was locked in their houses, didn't really want to go out to the shop.
Yeah.
Kids needed a treat, we're off from school and all this. So I was like, yeah. And then like I started getting like too big for my boots, and then everyone started copying me then because they were like, oh, we want a little slice of this, which she was doing.
Right.
So a load of other people in Porter's Head started doing it.
Other people in Porter's Head, did they?
Oh, ones that I'd been selling to, they'd even picture my sweets
Really?
and put it on their own Facebook page. Like, well, I'm selling these.
Capitalism.
I've been messaging them like, take my sweets off your page. I Posset Treats, not Bella Treats or whatever your name was. So I started doing that, and then it started like slowing down a bit, because then obviously the market started getting saturated in Port Reserve with these sweets. And I was like, what can I do now then? So then I was like, I'm going to start putting these little afternoon tea boxes together instead.
Yeah.
So I was like, right, start making some sandwiches. By this point, I'm like, I'm going to have to contact North Somerset Council and telling them, you know, I'm doing this. So I did all that and started running it there. And I thought, as a proper business.
And I guess that made it easier for no one to compete against you, because you've added some barriers to entry. So if you have to have the council come in and do the health thing, that suddenly seems like a lot of work for Joe Blogs to copy,
exactly,
right?
Yeah. So I started making these little afternoon teas, like, you know, a few scones in a box with sandwiches, this and that. And then people started doing that. And I was like, oh my God, like, where am I going to go next with these boxes of treats?
Yeah.
Then I was scrolling through Instagram one day and I started seeing all the Graze boards.
Yeah.
You know, like all the charcuterie and cheeses and all this, what I sell at the bar now. And I was like, right, I'm going to see if I'm any good at that. I'm not that creative, really. So I was like, it's probably going to look rubbish.
Yeah.
Anyway, I put one together, looked all right, started advertising those. People went absolutely wild for them.
Was it just paid advertising on Facebook and Instagram, yeah? Or was this...
I didn't do any paid advertising. It was
you just had a page
just on my page.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
So with your network you already had, and then you had people that you know buying off of you, and you started a business.
Yeah. So I started selling all these Graze platters, and then when it went really off the scale was when I got to near Christmas time.
Okay.
So a guy that worked for HSBC Bank had somehow heard about me. Not really sure how. I think his wife, they lived in Portishead anyway.
Yeah.
So he contacted me and said, obviously we've got a Christmas budget, but we can't have a party. He was like, so I want to send all your platters to all my employees. In my department, so it was like 100 of them. Yeah. But like some of them lived in Wales, some of them lived in London. Like they lived all over the country.
And how many people was it?
About 100, 120.
120 different, 20, 25 pounds.
Yeah.
Addresses.
No, this was like it was a bit more expensive than that.
Wow.
So I was like, God, I don't really know how I'm going to do this. But I was like, well, I'm not going to turn it down. So like me and Dave, my other half, in like December, we were just there in our car with these like little like boxes you get food. I can't remember what they're called now, with like chilling packs in and stuff. I would just be driving around everywhere, like just delivering.
Delivering?
Yeah, delivering.
Oh, sick. So you delivered them all by hand?
Yeah.
To everyone over the country?
Yeah.
To 120 addresses for HSBC?
And I did that almost every day in December.
Wow. That's cool.
Because then I got an order from Barrett Homes.
Yeah.
Then I got an order from this like big lawyer firm, all the same type of thing. So I started doing that, and then I was like, I'm making crazy money.
So all word of mouth?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. And obviously started building up my Instagram and everything like that then. So people were contacting me through there. So it was all going great. And then I was like, this is getting a bit too big for home now.
Yeah.
So I started looking in Portishead for a prep kitchen. I just, because my kitchen wasn't big enough. So obviously my bar was an estate agent's at the time. It was up for rent. Went down there. I was like, this isn't really suitable, to be honest. Like the kitchen is the most tiny kitchen in the world.
Yeah.
There's like, you can't really make up all this stuff in here. But I was like, do you know what? For the location, I'm never going to get another opportunity like this. Not on the water's edge.
Ah, right. That's interesting though. So you picked the location then because of the location, not for the location to match your business model.
Yeah.
Okay.
So what I've always tried to do with my businesses, I kind of, because you do get so many competitors and stuff like that, and obviously you learn along the way what people need and what people want. And I was like, I know that this delivery thing isn't going to last forever. Like it's Christmas right now. In January, February, I'm not going to get many orders. Like there's only so many like cheese platters you can sell,
So was that always in the back of your mind that the party won't last forever?
Yeah, exactly.
Were you conscientious of that?
I always try and involve my businesses on as much as I can. Yeah. So I went from a prep kitchen to a cocktail bar, basically.
Right. It's amazing.
So
and you had no experience in cocktail making before?
I'd never made a cocktail in my life.
And how was that? How was like the transition? Because obviously you went from a super successful business, and how's the transition been into cocktails?
It was really hard.
Yeah.
It was really hard. My other half kept saying to me, look, I will support you with this all I can, but are you sure? Like, are you ready? And I kept going, yeah, because I'm like, I'm all
attitude.
There's no grey area with me. I'm all or nothing. I'm like, I'm all in or I'm out, And I was like, yeah, like I'll wing it, like I do with everything. Like it'll be fine.
Yeah.
And so we started. It was going to be like a little wine bar. It was more going to be about the food, a few bottles of wine, this and that. And then as the plan started evolving more, and then I got this bartender, he wanted to he was more about the cocktails and stuff like that.
Oh, yeah.
So then he evolved on a little bit, which as much as I dislike the guy now, I'm glad that he did, because cocktails are 90% of my sales. So.
Right, okay.
What reason do you dislike him for now? Did you have a fallout? Or
Yeah. We did have a fallout.
Was he a partner, or was he just an employee?
No, he's just an employee. We never kind of gelled from the start. I knew he wasn't right for my business. And he just basically left a week before Christmas.
Oh, what? So and that, what was unexpected, was it?
Yeah. He just left before Christmas, like obviously left us right in the crap because and I'd started having suspicions about him doing other things in business. I won't say it because everybody will know who it is and stuff. But yeah, there was other issues anyway. And I thought, So anyway, so I'd already got another girl working for me at the time. She was assisting him on the bar, and she had a lot more experience than him.
Right.
So it all worked out fine in the end. It's
interesting, isn't it? Sometimes the biggest headaches where like you get left in the lurch by something.
Yeah.
You end up like the solution is given to you straight away. And I always think it's how you're dealing with that problem, Like sometimes a real bad thing happens, and if you do your best to look after it, the better thing comes thereafter.
Yeah.
But if you let the thing like break you or get too stressed out, then it ends up being the ultimate problem. You ever see that, Shiz?
Yeah, definitely. You got to nip most problems in the bud, otherwise it just grows and grows.
Yeah, exactly that.
Gets worse.
Exactly, and that's been like a big learning curve for me. Having this business. But yeah, going back to what we were saying, my other half kept saying, are you ready for this? Like, this is, you've never even worked in a bar. Like, are you sure? Yeah. And I'm like, yeah. Get to opening night.
Yeah.
I stood in the kitchen for 8 hours. The glass washer broke down. The dishwasher broke down. So I just stood there for 8 hours washing it up, and I was just crying and crying and crying.
On opening night, you were crying?
Yeah. He was like, what's wrong? Like, what's wrong? Is it because you've got to do washing up? I was like, no. I was like, this is the biggest mistake I've ever made in my entire life.
You said that on night one?
Yeah.
Have you opened the business?
Yeah.
Wow. And what happened? And what happened after that?
I was like, I became this shell of a person. Like, as the months went on, I thought this is a mistake. I just went into myself. I was frightened of my own business. I didn't want to be there. I didn't want to go down there. I didn't want to deal with my customers. I didn't want to deal with my staff. I was like, this is a mistake. I just became the most anxious person ever.
Right.
And it was going on like this for a few months. And I was like, you've signed a 10-year lease here. Right. And
is it signed in the company name or your name?
It's in my name, the lease.
Right. Yeah.
And I'm like, you've signed a 10-year lease, right? Stop whinging.
Yeah.
You wanted to do this. Get up off your ass, right? Why are you frightened? Like, go and do it. Like, you've committed to this now, go and do it. So I just kind of woke up one day and was like, this business is going to kill me unless I get my shit together.
Right. And so did you manage to find a way to enjoy it?
Yeah.
You did?
Yeah, I managed. I just walked in there one day and I was like, you need to get the old Carly back. You can't be wondering, oh my God, like what customers are going to come through the door? Are they going to be horrible? Like, are my staff going to let me down today?
So what was worrying you? Was it lack of money or bad customers or
No,
what?
it wasn't lack of money. Like, everything was going great down there. It was like more money than I'd ever had in my life. So I was like, you should be happy. But it was... I had like 10 staff at the time. I've never had anybody rely on me for money, even though like the money was there.
Yeah.
To like rely on me for wages and it was all quite a young team that I had, and like a few of them had mental health issues and stuff like that. And obviously as their boss, that kind of comes to you as well.
Yeah.
And I was like, I don't know if I know how to deal with all of this. Yeah. And then obviously you get different customers that are 99% of them are absolutely lovely. And then I'd get one that wouldn't be so lovely and it would just knock me completely.
What's the craziest experience you've had with a customer?
We haven't had that many crazy experiences, to be honest. Most of them aren't rude to me. Like, I've only ever had one customer rude to me. They're usually
and what did they
rude
do?
to the
How
staff.
did that work out?
She just went. So it was a group of ladies that were in, and it had got to closing time, and they still, they'd been warned a couple of times. They still had like a full bottle of wine left, and it was like, guys, we're closing now, blah blah blah. So the staff had said that, and then it was getting to the point where I was going to have to come over and say, hi ladies, we really don't want to rush you, but we were closed half an hour ago, so you need to drink up. So this one woman was like, we've spent £80 in here this evening. Bear in mind, there's like 6 of them. I was like, yeah, that's not much money. Right? We've spent £80. She was like, and now you want to rush us for our drinks? I was like, it's half an hour after closing and we've warned you. And as I walked off, she went to her mate. She went, is that the owner? She went, yeah, I think so. She went, she doesn't look like the owner, does she? I was like, I'm just going to walk away now because otherwise...
You didn't say anything?
No, because I was like trying to, remain professional, which I'm not that good at doing, if I'm perfectly honest.
Do you know what? I expected better. For the most dramatic story, the worst customer, I thought you were going to walk away and it was going to get just to the point where you left the door and you thought, do you know what? Almost like a movie, like you're walking out. I'm going to be the bigger person. And then, like, the demon. And...
No.
Yeah, it's like the Hulk and the pulse is going.
Right, no, that wasn't my that right. So that was one customer that was rude to me. My craziest experience was when I went full Peggy Mitchell on someone, a guy, and the guy was like 6 foot odd, and I had to physically throw him out.
You physically threw out?
Yeah, I had to.
I didn't know Peggy Mitchell had those kind of moves.
Yeah, it was proper get out of my path moment.
Seriously?
Yeah. It was a guy. Him and his mate were in. It was all going good, and then obviously they had a bit too much to drink, as people do, which is fine. But then he started getting a little bit too much with a couple of young girls that were in there. So I said, "Look, guys, you're gonna have to tone it down, otherwise it's gonna have to ask you to leave." And he started getting really like irate about it.
Right.
So he stands up and starts like trying to square up and all that. I'm like, nah. Peggy's not having this.
And what did you do?
I was like, leave, like screaming at him. I was like, literally leave. It got to the point where I had to start like screaming and shouting. I would never usually act like that in that scenario in my business, but I was like, he wasn't listening, like, and he just wouldn't get out. So I had to like
just give him a sharp smack on the cheek.
I just grabbed him by his arm. Yeah.
What, in a full Nelson?
Yeah, and where he was like quite drunk, he was like stumbling. Right? I thought, yeah, I got you here, mate. So I
don't know, no disrespect, I don't see that happening.
And then
you overpowered him.
Yeah, I overpowered him, and I just chucked him out. And
you just reminds me of one
back.
of those things where someone catches a fish this big and then they come back like, the fish was this big. I don't see you overpowering a 6 foot guy.
Yeah.
How tall are you?
Yeah.
It won't be the first time.
How tall are you?
5 foot
yeah, so
4 and a half. Yeah, but yeah, I think I had the advantage because he was a little bit tipsy, to say the least.
That's funny.
So he hasn't been back since, thank God.
Crazy.
But yeah, generally you just get some rude customers. Obviously, it's the hospitality industry. People are paying you for a service, so sometimes they can be very expecting, which is fine. And I don't mind if people are expecting of me, but I don't like people talking to my waiters like crap.
Yeah, fair enough.
So.
And how are you? So you obviously had that time where you didn't enjoy the business, and now you found the way to get your old self back.
Yeah.
Do you enjoy it now?
Yeah, like I'm not there that much now, to be honest. The business kind of runs itself. I've got my like amazing team. I go down there each morning and sort everything out. But like Fridays and Saturday nights, you might see me if we're short or whatever. But I don't physically, work there like I did every day.
So now is it just like it's a business that looks after itself and it runs in the background?
Yeah,
That's real cool.
Yeah, I mean, obviously there is still quite a lot to do in the background, but yeah, I don't have to physically be there 24/7 like I was.
So you've got more social working hours now? Yeah. That's really, really cool. Yeah. It's cool that you can get it to that place then. What would you say your advice would be? Someone who's in hospitality looking to get to that place, but right now they can't see the light and they're governed by the restaurant, they can't leave.
At the end of the day, you've just got to do you at the end of the day. So if it was, do you mean someone that worked there or someone that has their own business?
Some people who, I know the restaurant business is a lot more challenging in terms of the hours. It really takes a lot of your social hours. Yeah. If you feel like, God, when am I going to get out of this where it's not going to get any hours? How long until you saw the light where it's like, right, I got some free time now?
It was so we've been open, it'll be 2 years this September. I'd say it was probably about 18 months in. So
18 months of not having any time off?
Yeah.
Until you were allowed a little bit of time off?
Yeah. So for the past 6 months, obviously it's been a couple of months I've been doing my new business. But yeah. We'll
go into your new business in a second as well. That'd be interesting. But you're very well to get out of that in 18 months because we were speaking, it's hard to
I could probably, what a lot of restaurant owners do, they work a lot of their hours themselves to save themselves money. Like, I could go down there more and work on an evening, but one, I've got children, two, I don't really want to because I've got other things to be doing, like with my family and stuff. So I just think for the sake of a few quid, it's worth my mental health rather than like trying to be there every hour under the sun.
Yeah, 100%. I think there's a lot of even when we were talking in a couple episodes back about like paying parking fines and stuff, is you can sit there trying to save as much money as you can, but if it's coming at the cost of inconvenience,
I'm the same when it comes. I am.
Grands.
I am terrible. I'm like that as well.
I just think if it makes
time saving, isn't it? Time is like the most precious entity. It's one thing you can't get back.
Yeah.
I think like you got to look after your time. You got to look after your health. You don't want to do stuff that's taking your time or messing with your health. If
exactly that. And I think that's what people need to realize sometimes. And this is what I realized. And I was like, you need to do what's making you happy.
100%.
So if we took it all the way back, how did you get to signing the lease? Like, did you make enough money from the deliveries to go sign a lease and put a deposit down? Because with commercial leases, it's like a 3-month deposit, 6-month deposit.
Yeah. So I made quite a lot of money from the Graze platters with all the Christmas stuff and this and that. I made 50 grand in a year.
You made 50 grand?
Yeah, I made 50 grand in a year. I don't mind telling you that.
Sick.
Which I think for like selling sweets and cheese, I thought that was quite good, to be honest.
Yeah.
50 grand selling sweets and cheese
from
home.
From home.
And you delivered it all yourself?
Yeah.
That's good, that is.
Corona was a crazy time. Like,
it was.
Everything was selling. Like, and you said your customers said they spent 80 quid. Like, that might have been more back then, but like, I went out yesterday and I got a starter and pasta. Well, 2 starters and a pasta, and that was 80 quid.
Yeah.
But before Corona, that would have been like 40 quid, you know?
Yeah, that's mad.
It's like money became kind of worthless in Corona, like where they handed out so much, inflation's got so crazy now.
Yeah.
Like everyone I know made money and then they went and spent it and then everything just went up in value.
Do you know many people who turned out worse off after Corona? I literally didn't know anyone.
I don't know anyone at all.
It's mad,
literally.
isn't it?
I no, the only, because
No one.
I'm quite careful of what I say because I have had quite a bad reaction when I say this. I always go, Corona was great for me. And then like I've had a few people like, oh, well, actually, I was really ill or like so-and-so died.
All that stuff's real, obviously tragic, bad, whatever. Well, not whatever, like it's tragic and bad. Here's what I think is crazy is you'll have people like, oh, you can't talk about Corona because that was hard on a lot of people. Like, financially wise, it wasn't really hard on many people.
Yeah, but a lot of people decided to make it hard on themselves by listening to these things. If you're going to listen to the government and stay in your house every day, that's your own fault.
Yeah.
Yeah. Bro,
if you're not going to attend your family and this, that's your own fault.
That's a whole different podcast, that, isn't it?
When the pandemic hit, all of my normal products stopped selling. I was in work the next day finding what is selling now. And obviously I found what was selling now and we started selling it. I know loads of people who the minute their business wasn't operating, they just went home and they were like, cool, this is some months of playing computer games now. Like, that's cool if you can afford to do it. Me, I had some savings and I still didn't personally think that I could afford to be sitting around.
That's a true businessman there then.
Yeah. I think a lot of people try to play at being in business, don't they?
Yeah.
Because me and Shiz were talking, we always spot an angle and we're never not doing anything regardless of our current financial situation.
Yeah.
So if that's the basis, it doesn't matter. Like, I think a lot of people are like, when I get this much money, I'm not going to work again. I can tell you for free, me or Shiz, there's no amount of money. Even if we had £1 billion in the bank and someone was doing this or that by the beach, well, I'll buy some of those. We're sat on the beach of Thailand. I'll be like, I'll buy 10 of those necklaces and I'll be selling them down there.
Yeah, I think as well, just touching on that, I think owning a business, being a businessman, businesswoman or whatever, you're either cut out for it or you're not.
Yeah.
And there was a long time for, but at least a year, I just thought, you're not cut out for this. You're not cut out for it. And I just thought, no, you are. Like, you've always spoke about wanting a business. You don't just want one business card. You want multiple ones. Like, come on, where's the old you gone? You are cut out for this. Don't tell yourself that you're not. You are.
Do you feel like you found your groove now? Would you say that now, looking at yourself, would you say, yeah, I am cut out for it?
Yeah, absolutely. But if you would have asked me probably even 6 months ago, I would have been like, don't know if I'm cut out for it.
That's cool. That's wicked.
We always say that. It's like, you got to have like so much self-belief because you always get doubts on it when something's not working or something goes wrong. You always get doubts. You have like unfaltering self-belief to make it work.
And I still get good days and bad days. And it's like, if we've had a particularly good week at the bar or whatever, I'll be on top of the world. Like, yeah, I've cracked this now. Like, amazing. I knew I could do it, blah, blah, blah. And then if we get a couple of days that are really quiet, I'm like, because like I said, there's no grey area of me. I'm up or I'm down. I'm black or I'm white. So I'm like, oh, here we go. Look, it's not working, blah, blah, blah. And I talk myself out of that now.
It's so interesting. We were saying this as well. Like, whether and how you feel towards something is based on other people's perceptions. So if the business is going real well, you walk in like, yeah, I've created something special here.
Yeah.
Now you could have created something equally as special, but if people aren't coming in, you start to second guess your ability.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing as like we were talking, we can make a clip for our Instagram,
Yeah.
the BroNups. Make sure you follow us on Instagram. But you could make a clip for the Instagram and it could be like, I'm not really sure about the clip, but then it's well liked. And it's like, she has a sick clip.
Yeah.
Or you could make one that seems really sick, but then when you put it out there, it no longer seems sick. And it's in the same way that you could see a guy 6.5 foot, built like a brick shit house and be like, oh, that guy's handsome. And then he comes up and you realize that he's actually a weak little bitch.
Yeah.
And now you see him as a like weak, small guy. And it's like your perception has changed depending on how, do you know what I mean?
Yeah. I'll tell you what else really does knock me as well. And you'll probably get this with uploading your podcast and stuff, about comments, like people commenting and stuff like that. So at the moment, I've been having like loads of good reviews for the bar. And I know soon there's going to be a bad one coming because you can't please everyone all the time. Yeah. No matter as hard as you try, you just can't.
There's a saying, they say you can keep some of the people happy some of the time. No, you can keep all the people happy. No, you can keep some of the happy people. What's the saying?
I don't know.
I know
I think you made it up on the spot.
Hey, I got it now, right? You can keep some of the people happy some of the time. I pass. Don't
this all out.
even have to cut it out. It's funny.
No, we're not cutting this. This has got to stay in.
Carry on.
But yeah, so if I get like really good reviews with the art bar, I'm like, yeah, like people really like what I've done here.
Yeah.
Like, and they'll comment on things like about the decor, which is, you know, stuff like that, like the food that I do on my own. Not anymore because obviously I've got staff, but I created it and it really builds me up. But then if I get somebody and they write something shit, I'm like, I used to be devastated.
Yeah.
I used to be like on the floor about it. And now, if somebody does that, I'm just like, well, I can't please you.
It's about the ratio anyway. If you've got 100 good reviews and one bad, you can't please everyone anyway. That's the way I look at it anyway. But if all your reviews are bad, then yeah, you should probably take a look at yourself. You know what I mean?
Yeah, exactly.
This is the quote we're looking for. You can please some of the people all of the time. You can please all of the people some of the time, but you can't please all of the people all of the time.
Yeah, makes sense.
I don't even know what quotes are for. Like, you've got these quotes, it's like fit situations. What does that really mean? We already knew that.
Who was that? Donald Trump?
Nah, it's like this is an old proverb. I got told this ages ago, like for when I was getting knocked back in sales. Someone used to tell me, like I was doing, I was at Stay Bright Windows, and my job was to just call up, and get leads for the like heavy metal sales guy who'd go over, and I'd get like £2 or £3 for every lead I could get. And like we'd get people pissed off if they tell us to F off or whatever.
Yeah.
And the guy would tell us that. And it would make you feel a bit better. Like, nah, he's right. Actually, I'll just take more beating on the phone.
Yeah.
You know what? Going back to what you're saying about the quiet days, yeah. The other thing you do is when you have a few quiet days, you're like, oh, it's going to be like this forever.
Yeah.
And then when you have some busy days, you're like, it's going to get busy and better and everything else. And then you just feel like, you know, it's such like
it really
up and down, up and down
It
all
really
the
is
time.
up and down. And like, you know, the first year that we were open, you know, some people said to me, oh, yeah, you are really, really busy now, but you're still new. So everyone's just trying you out.
Yeah.
Like it is going to die down.
What, people are telling you that?
Yeah.
That's a nice thing.
And then I started, you know, I probably did get a bit overconfident with it because it was like really busy and we were making loads of money. And I was like, yeah, like I've done it. And then obviously then it went into winter a bit and then it started getting a bit quieter and I was like, oh, like, you know, maybe you shouldn't have been so confident. But yeah, every week's different. And you can't predict it.
Yeah. So I've obviously been in the same sector as you before.
Okay.
And the thing is, like, what you don't think about is, firstly, when you open up, you get people coming in because you're new and exciting, this, that, and the other, and then that soon wanes off.
Yeah.
New customers come. Then you get like the regulars who come all the time without fail, and that's kind of like your baseline bread and butter. And then you got seasonal. So summer, if you haven't got outside, it's gonna be dead. And then winter, if you've got inside, it's warm, people are gonna be there.
Yeah.
And then you got like Christmas periods where people won't come out or they'll be saving. You got January, February where no one has any money.
Yeah.
And then on top of that, you got like, obviously you're just limited to who's here. Like you got delivery business and that and the other, but again, it's all seasonal, right?
Yeah.
And I guess the point I was making is that all these things you got to think about because when you're overconfident at the start and you open, it's really busy. That's going to soon wane off, you know?
Yeah.
Yeah,
so,
and I don't think I didn't mentally prepare myself for every scenario like that.
I think that, I think that what Shiz is saying is like, I think the same is the landscape is always changing. And like, even if it's on a landscape where the landscape can come back every season, just in business, we got to be constantly like thinking, what's my threat tomorrow? Like, okay, I'm getting business now because it's new. How do I maintain that tomorrow? Okay, I'm getting business now because it's sunny. How do I maintain that tomorrow? And like, every single person who thinks they're good right now ends up messing it up, you know? Like, it's almost that you have to be always constantly thinking that, okay, it might be good today, but it's going to be bad tomorrow unless I'm on it. Like, I'm constantly worried about tomorrow.
You got to constantly evolve as well. Like you said, evolving part.
Definitely
like,
evolving.
Adapting to everything else.
And it's, like learning on the job as well. Obviously, I had a sharp shock because I wasn't from that industry at all.
Yeah.
So every day was a learning curve, and I made so many mistakes down there. Like, if I tell people that now, like customers, this and that, if you're never having a chat, they'll be like, what mistakes? Like, what mistakes have you made? And I'm like, I've made loads. Like, I've made a ton,
Yeah. Well, what advice would you give to someone who just, in passing, says, yo, I'm going to open up a cocktail bar down in Manchester, Sweet and Graze Manchester, I'm going to call it. What advice? What should I worry about? Well, what should I be ready for?
Do you know, that's a really difficult one for me, because if I'm going to be brutally honest, I would probably say put that business idea to bed and think of something else.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Even though you got it to a place now.
Yeah,
where you
I have
to go
now, but it was not the easiest business to start. And I think because of Corona, things have changed. People don't go out as much.
Yeah, I think it's just a lack of money, though. I mean, there's all these things you can't control anymore.
Yeah, exactly. I think online businesses are the way forward now. So I would recommend somebody to do something like that.
All right, well, perfect. That brings us nicely into your second business.
Yeah.
So, a woman of many talents. You got a second business. You got one business running well in the background, and you got a second business you're uplifting.
Yeah. So that started. I don't know. Has it been like 3 months now?
And the name of the business?
It is Social Media with Carly.
And you can get that on Instagram, right?
Yeah. So basically what I call myself is a social media agency, even though it's only me at the moment. I'm hoping to have a couple of people join me soon.
And what made you get in that business?
So that all kind of started at the bar. I had a couple of customers say to me, who runs your Instagram account for the bar? And I went, well, I do. They were like, that's like, I was quite impressed with that, blah, blah, blah. They went, you wouldn't think about like doing ours, would you? Like, just jokingly. And I was like, oh God, no, I haven't got enough time for that. And then they approached me again in January about it.
Right, okay.
And I just thought, well, I'm not really one to turn an opportunity down. Like, the bar's like going along now. Yeah. Like, you have got more time on your hands. Why not? So I started running their Instagram account for them. And I kind of put a strategy together for them because it was like all over the shop.
What business was it? Like what sector? You don't have to specify the business, but like what
it was a recruitment agency.
Okay, cool.
Yeah, so it was funny enough.
Can I actually ask then, on the topic of recruitment, and I think that recruitment, they have a mixed opinions out there. How did you make a recruitment? Because I bet it's quite a difficult one to make it come off quite social on socials. Yeah. How did you take that? That's interesting.
So a lot of companies that you come across, like whether it be a recruitment agency, an estate agent, anybody like that, is quite difficult with their Instagram because they'll just have like graphic after graphic after graphic, or just like front of a house. I like to get more personal with it. So I'll go in and help them create some content, and I'll be like, right, we're going to film you today. We're going to do a stupid, silly TikTok. We're going to do a meet the team thing. Nice. Like make all loads of different reels. Like, I just don't want to see graphics of we can sell your house or we can do this in recruitment or this or that. So you just, I don't know. I keep saying I'm not a creative person, but maybe I am a little bit.
It sounds like you are. Sounds like you are. You're making all these boxes. You're going around. You're working out to deliver all these orders. Like you always find a way.
It's really weird. Yeah, I don't know. I just seem to like fall into these things. I never think I'm good at anything. I just think I just fall into these opportunities. I think you're kind of
similar to like me and James. Like won't turn, like what you said, won't turn opportunity down. You see opportunities and stuff, and we always wing it too, don't we? We don't know anything about something. We'll start something.
Yeah. So I started doing this recruitment agency's Instagram, and then someone asked them, because they were looking for someone, asked them who was doing it. So I got past that. Yeah. And then I started advertising my services on Instagram, and I'm currently got about 10 clients now.
Nice. All paying you monthly?
So they pay me monthly. Some of them don't. I've got some one-off clients as well. This is why I got to London quite a lot now. Yeah. Rather than running their Instagram accounts, they've got a whole marketing team that do that for them. But a lot of them are like old-fashioned in their ways. They don't really know much about Instagram and stuff. So what I'll do is go in and teach them.
That's cool. And you got these just from word of mouth?
Well, yeah, mainly my Instagram account, if I'm honest, as well.
That's cool. That's really, really cool.
Because I do spend a lot of time on Instagram
You had people from London following you, like even though it's like a Portishead.
Well, no, I'll go in. I will target businesses that I want to work for. Right. Okay. So I'll go in. I was like specific hotels now and stuff in London. Right. I'll be like, I like it there. I wouldn't mind doing business with you. I'll be like, follow. Like all their stuff.
And I guess the
it.
incentive is you get the free hotel rooms.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'll never like cold message businesses. Like that for me is a complete turn off. Like, you know, when you get someone in your DMs trying to sell you something, I'm like, no. So what I'll do, I'll just interact with them for a time and I'll make them come to me.
Right, okay.
So that's where I am with it now.
So if anyone's getting DMs or like interaction on stories, you're about to become Carly's customer.
Yeah, exactly.
So obviously someone else in marketing is running their Instagram account. So what do you do? Do you try and, obviously not going to want you to take over. So what do you do? Create content for them or for a hotel or whatever?
What I'll do, so if they've got a marketing team already and they're a bit like, oh, our socials are a little bit outdated, or like he's really good at running our Facebook page, but Instagram's a little bit different, I'll go in and I'll like do an audit of their account and then I'll put like a strategy together and it depends what they want. If they just want to refresh a page, I'll tell them what to do. If they want to really try and grow their account, I'll teach them what to do. Not saying that I'm an expert in marketing or anything like that. It just seems to be something that I'm passionate about and enjoy doing. And I think if you're passionate about it and enjoy it,
you can make it work.
Yeah,
for 100%. Sure. Passion's the main thing. If you're passionate about something and you stick at it, it's going to work.
Yeah, just a will to make it work. You find a way, you know. Where there's a will, there's a way.
So what's the motive, Carly? Why are you doing all this stuff? Are you doing it because you want to make enough money to not work, or are you doing it
I'm not doing it enough money to not work. I would love to make enough money so my children don't have to worry when they're older.
So will you always work?
Probably. Because even though I can be a bit like, I love leading a certain lifestyle and I love my holidays and this and that, I get bored so quickly. So I know that I'm going to have to be doing something.
Right.
And
you're like me and James, literally.
Going back to like my kids, really, I should be putting my work ethic into them and not trying to make them loads of money so they don't have to work. But that's just me as a mother, who I am. I want to be able to spoil them rotten.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. I was about to say, don't you think getting to that financial level where your kids don't have to work hard, don't you think that makes them lazy or like makes them...
Yeah, but I don't care. I don't care. I'm obsessed with my children and they're not spoilt brats yet, and they've already got my work ethic. Like the older two, like Ella, my eldest daughter, she's a single mum. So I am a grandma.
Do you know what though? It's funny because it's kind of incongruent what you're saying. Not because you've done anything wrong, but your daughter works for you, right?
Yeah.
So they're getting trained to be disciplined
that's what I mean.
kids.
So I think
you might not be saying the same thing if you'd sold your company for a load of money, say 10 years ago. You might have been like, right, my challenge actually was getting all this money and making sure they were on it. But because they're on it,
they're already on it. And like going back to Ella, she's a single mum. She works her ass off. She works in a nursery. Yeah. She works 40 hours a week and she's got a 3-year-old. Right. So I already know that that's instilled in her. So I'm not really worried about later down the line about them. Even I might be dead and gone by the time they enjoy my money, but I want to be able them to enjoy it at some point. You know?
Yeah, that's cool.
So
well, it sounds like you got the right motivation, that you're doing it for the right reasons.
And you said your other daughter works in your bar as well, right?
Yeah.
So yeah,
she works there. Unfortunately, she is leaving me after summer because the hours are quite unsociable for her. She's only 20.
It's not an unfair dismissal then.
No. So she's gonna give it a real job a try in an office or something.
Nice. Sometimes
she'll be back.
That's what I keep saying to her. I was like, you're not going to get paid as much as you do.
Well, it sounds like she's got a work ethic from her mum, and she's probably got her walking out ethic from her mum too.
Yeah,
maybe
probably.
She'll get told to make a cup of tea for her boss, and she'll be saying, "Hey."
Yeah, she's not. She's not great at being told what to do either. So that probably will be the case, to be honest.
So what's the plans for you then moving forward? Where do you see yourself 10 years? What do you want to do? Like if you just jump forward 10 years.
Jump forward 10 years.
And where's your business? Everything. Talk us through it.
In 10 years' time, I would hope to be signing another lease on the bar. And if I don't, because I don't know what's going to happen with this town or the bar or whatever, maybe relocate it somewhere else.
Yeah. So you think, even though you say it's a stressful business getting into bricks and mortar, do you see that as part of your business empire now that's staying forever?
Yeah. I'm not one to give up on something. So,
but if you say got to the end of your lease and you made a load of money, it wouldn't even be given up anyway. Would it be? Why would you want to keep it? Just because since you love it, you want to keep it now?
Yeah, like it's my thing, isn't it? It's my first business that I've built from scratch.
Yeah,
so
I think it's cool to have like different businesses in different fields. It's just hard managing stuff, you know.
Yeah, no, but the only reason I ask is you were quite vocal on not enjoying it.
I know,
and
but
now, like after 10 years at least, you think you want to sign again.
But I mean, so I wasn't enjoying it, and now 18 months or whatever on, now I am.
So now when you go past and it was shut, would you smile? That's mine.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
That's
Whereas
cool.
before, it would give me anxiety to drive past it.
It's like a love-hate thing, innit? Because I don't really want another bricks and mortar, but I'd love to have like a nice place, which is doing well on bricks and mortar. If it runs itself, I want one to be there every day. So like antisocial.
Yeah, exactly.
But we've got people out there, obviously, who want to start other bricks and mortar businesses. What's your advice on getting a lease? Or how did you get your lease? Sorry, I don't think you got into it.
Well, obviously, I was looking on the internet for a prep kitchen. So I was just looking at different places in Portishead. There was somewhere on the high street, but the rent was like ridiculous. And I just thought, it's not really where I wanted to be. So when I saw that on the marina, literally I just called them and arranged a viewing. And it was pretty easy going, really. I thought that they were going to want a lot more from me. Like when you go and rent a house or something, they want all these like background checks, blah, blah, blah. They didn't.
Do you mind if I ask some specifics? Like I'm just interested because we signed leases. Did they make you sign like so you got a personal guarantee because it's in your name?
Yeah.
Did you get any like get out clauses or a break clause?
Yeah, I've got a 5-year break clause.
Ah, nice. You can get out after 5.
Yeah.
Cool. And what are you responsible for? Like structural for the building?
It's a bit of a difficult one, that, because obviously it's in an apartment block.
Yeah.
So the lease, honestly, like it's about that thick.
Is it?
Yeah. So it's really weird. Like the glass in the windows, I'm not responsible for, but the frames I am, and things like that. So it's
commercial leases are so weird.
Yeah.
Like,
they are
so weird.
Yeah, it is a bit of a headache, to be honest. So yeah,
I've been really rolled over with commercial leases in the past because, I just think that a lot of landlords, they view basically the way a lease works, guys, for those who don't understand, is a commercial lease, you're responsible for the entirety of the building. It's like you own the building during your tenure of the lease. And then when you exit, you're expected to put it back to how it was, less any general wear and tear. But
better.
Yeah.
Better.
But what they'll do is there's a reasonable amount of wear and tear that if they say, well, a building would have undergone that over 10 years. But what happens is you get quite often crafty little rats who will try to say that this isn't wear and tear and that this is you did this. And my lease was $25,000 a year back. This is like 10, 11 years ago, £25,000 a year. And then it was only over 3 years. They were trying to tap the guy who had it after me, 80,000 in roof dilapidations for something that was only 3 years at 25 grand.
Yeah.
Actually, it's a bit different to that. What happened is I was taking the building off of someone who had it 3 years before me. That's how I know. But and I went bust in that property, so I didn't owe him any money. But the person before me, he tried to...
You signed it in a limited company, yeah? You got lucky then. Because a lot of them won't let you sign a limited company unless it's established.
I nearly signed a PG because he wasn't doing me no deal. And I thought in my head, and this is like the thing that... Yours is working, so you're good. But I mean, in my head, I thought there's no way this can fail. I'm too smart. I'm smarter than all the people I worked for before. I quickly realized that I wasn't as smart as I thought. And I didn't know as much about business as I thought. And thank God I didn't sign a PG.
And a PG is a personal guarantor, basically. So you're liable, yeah.
And what happens is all these suppliers, the whole point of a limited company is it limits your exposure so that it's confided within the limited company. When people get you to sign personal guarantees, when you're coming at them with a limited company, it's kind of ratty because they know that the whole point of limited company is so you don't have personal guarantees. So them trying to get you to sign personal guarantees is snaky. And what I do is I sometimes approach the supplier and I say, look, we want to do business with you. And he says, yeah, we'll give you $100 grand credit limit. And they try to sneak in a personal guarantee. And I always think that's a marker. And I always think that's a marker of a snake.
Yeah.
But you know what? I don't think it's that snaky because it's in your best interest. Like, for example, if I owned a commercial property downstairs, I'd want a personal guarantor because I know how easy it is to close down a limited company while owing money.
Yeah.
If you PG it, I know I'm getting my money one way or the other if you care about your own credit.
Yeah.
Because if you sign it in good credit, you want to keep that good credit.
Yeah.
You know? So it has its benefits, obviously.
I'm the opposite. I wouldn't do it because I don't want to be part of the problem. So let me give you an example. Is if someone came to me and they were starting up, I would go against them trying to sign a personal guarantee. And I'll tell you why. It's because if someone starts up and they have seed money, say £100,000, and they blow said £100,000 on your property and your lease, and they have a PG, most people who sign PGs, they're normally at startup stages. People aren't signing PGs who are establishing business. So now you're taking away everything. They have nothing to lose. I can tell you for free, and I'm not going into specifics, I was not a good tenant when I had nothing to lose.
Yeah, of course.
So I don't think giving a startup, and people who start up in business, they normally are a bit rough around the edges. You're going to do shit you had to do.
Yeah.
And why give that person $100 grand debt on his head? It's stupid to me.
Yeah, no, I get that. But as a landlord, obviously, it's good for you, isn't it? It's in your best interest to get that.
And then also, when I'm selling kit, and I sell kit, like I said, I got knocked for 50 grand in the summer. I would never put a personal guarantee. I would never even send a contract with a personal guarantee. And I just think It's fair business. I've been annoyed about people doing that to me in the past, and I wouldn't do it to
And plus, you're established now, so you should get the benefits of not having to sign personal guarantors.
But what I'm saying is, even though I could go to people and say I want a personal guarantee, I still don't.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to be that person, you know?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, if you can't afford to do business with them, I guess.
And also, you look, and this is what I found with my guys, is there's people who I've started out small with, and I looked after them, showed them goodwill, lent them money when they had no credit rating. And they respond as when they get big, if you back the right horse, you get looked after. I got customers who spend $100,000 a month with me now, who were small, and we just gave them a chance. And we didn't want to bend them over. Hey, we can't. And there's literally people who they can't get credit, no love and money. And you see them, the whites their eyes, and you're like, this is a good man. This person deserves to get credit. And I actually believe him when he says he's going to pay me back. So do you know what? Even though you don't have any money, I'll give you a 10 grand credit limit. Just be a man of your word.
Yeah.
And that you can build a big business relationship. I think it comes kind of untrustworthy when you come like the PGs and that, you know? But I understand what you're saying. It protects you as a landlord.
Yeah, there's a lot of people out there who consciously do these things to go and get like money out of stuff. You know, like you've had it before, limited company, they've closed it. You know.
Yeah. I think it's like a
personal guarantee gives you some protection, obviously.
It's a bit like we were saying about the sales. Is when you know the struggle and it's literally loaded against you. Very hard to start a business, and you imagine that you eventually got brave enough to start it. It's good if you can be someone who helps facilitate that, because we all started out one day, you know.
Yeah. So I had this thing with my lease recently. I just handed it back, and that was personally put on my name because my limited company hadn't been set up at the time. So I've gone to hand this property back, and she wants walls back to Magnolia, but the walls are now white.
Yeah.
You know, I want this laminate, I want this, I want that, I want this, and I ended up spending. Well, actually, I got someone else to sublet it off me, do it up, and then transfer the lease to them to save me doing it. But otherwise, I'd have lost like 20k extra. Doing all that work.
I did have quite a few things taken out of my lease. We were going back and forth with it quite a bit, because obviously it started as an estate agent. It was an empty shell. Like, we've done absolutely everything in there, and certain parts of the lease, like they wanted me, you know, like James, you've been in there, the booths and everything. If I go, like they want me to leave that and like leave all my fixtures and fittings, and I'm like, no, because I might be moving them to the next place, or probably wouldn't. I'd probably do it fresh, but I was like, I'm not leaving anything that I've put in. Right, fair enough.
Yeah. So they want you to leave that. Do you know, that's kind of a good thing though, and I'll tell you why. Is because it's in your name. If you took it out, they could get you onto dilapidations. Whereas they saying leave it, you've got that leverage. And straight away I would just be thinking, cool, yeah, I can take it out. But no, sure, I can leave it, but that means I'm not responsible for anything. And then the minute they start to get a bit edgy, I'm like, fine, I'm taking it all. Like, you've got something. Yeah. And again, it's like, as long as you've got something they want, you can use it. Because I just think people, they can be your best friend until the minute that lease is over, and you need to have something that they want.
Yeah.
That's the same thing I had, basically. Because I took everything out, it looked worse than it was, you know? Like, if I left it all in, it would have looked better.
Yeah.
But then nowadays, you got to pay to get rid of stuff as well, you know? It's not like you could just give it away free.
Yeah.
But it's like there was stuff in there, like, oh, we want you to leave any lighting you put in, stuff like this. I had like $5,000 chandeliers shipped over from Germany. I'm moving them. Do you know what I mean?
I had this unit next door to my current unit. We needed some extra storage for a while. I got it, and the heating went. The boiler went, so I got a different warehouse heater. It was big blow heater, right? I put it in there. $5,000 the thing cost me. 4,800 fitted. And then when I came to give him the unit back, he goes, oh, the heater's broken. I said, nah, the heater's not broken. We actually got a new heater. It's over there. He goes, oh, that's not the one I left in. So then he starts like tallying up as if he's going to charge me for a new central heating system. I was like, no worries, bro. I'll just take the one I pulled out then. And he's like, oh, no. I was like, oh, you're going to charge me because what? The heater moved? Like, you're a snake. Yeah. These people are pieces of shit. Oh, no, not all of them, but I have a really, really good landlord at my current place. But a lot of them, the point I'm making is they use dilapidations as their final lump payment, almost like a balloon payment with these PCP cars. Yeah. It's like, yeah, cool, I got all this money for the 3 years. And then at the end, I get the big boy.
Yeah.
And that's what they
commercial leases is just scammed.
And it's like having a open order form where they can just put like, I need a load of bricks. I need a new roof. I need a new heater. I need all this new painted.
Yeah, I know. Yeah. That's the same as my landlord. He's just walking around like, could do with that, could do with this, like writing a list of like, what are you talking about? It came like that.
Scary.
She's like, I got pictures. Like, send me the pictures. I was like, these aren't even pictures from when I rented it.
It's the same with houses.
Yeah.
Like, you know, I don't rent anymore, but when I did, I've rented quite a few flats and houses in Portishead.
Yeah.
Every single landlord was the same.
What did they do?
They'll just try and rip you off at the end. They don't want to give you your deposit back, ever.
None of them want to get paid in Graze boxes then?
No.
That'd be good, wouldn't it? You could get a better deal.
Actually, you know what? I still don't have my deposit back. I need to chase that up. It's been like 3 weeks. So she was bugging me, and now getting my deposit back. I've just been chilled. But yeah, I need to chase it up.
I was in the airport a couple of years ago, and they were talking about like house renters when You know, council houses, but the ones that have been given to people who are like just come off the streets or they got alcohol addiction or chemical addiction. There was a guy who would be there to go evict people who were like taking drugs. And apparently they would get so salty, obviously for getting kicked out because no one wants to get kicked out, but they were abusing the property, that they would put like needles and shit. I'm just saying this about bad tenants, you know?
Perhaps, yeah.
They put needles and stuff behind the radiators so that you put and you get stabbed by a needle.
Yeah.
And you'd have to get specialists who go in there and they're conscientious of where traps would be to just go and get rid of traps. Apparently one time they opened a door and it was like a Home Alone trap. Like they opened and a brick swung. And he's like, and this is crazy, right? One of them had some like knife or blade stock in it. And the guy got done for attempted murder for a booby trap he set up. I swear on my life, he got set up.
That's crazy.
Yeah, this guy was telling me, it's as good as the guy's word. So whether or not, but he said, he goes, some of the stuff, people get mad about it. Yeah. They really get mad.
Yeah, I saw a video where a guy barricaded the door. And this was a private landlord. He's rented to this guy and he barricaded the door. Police kicked it through and he's throwing fridges and freezers down like 2 flights of stairs. And then he's locked it again, just throwing stuff down the stairs, and eventually they got him out. But yeah, he caused like 50 grand worth of damage to the property, like holes in every single wall.
Do you reckon you'd enjoy that job?
I don't know, he's getting a bit passionate about this.
No, not that, but I mean,
smiling his head off.
Forget the needles.
At the thought of the fridges going down the stairs.
Nah, it's just a funny video. Like, it's crazy. The guy was throwing everything he could down the stairs.
It wasn't you in the video, was it?
No, it wasn't me.
Bro, you know you said you'd do any business, any opportunity. I'll ask you both now. If I said to you, I got a flat over here and this fucker won't get out, I gave you some paperwork which meant you had the legal right to go out and get him out, but he was going to be throwing fridges and stuff down the stairs. How much would you want to take that job on? Recruit who you need to recruit. 10 grand?
Oh, we could recruit who we need to. Yeah, whatever then.
I'll do it for free, just for the crack.
Yeah. Do you know, is there anything you would say no to? Like if someone said to you, yo, I need a security detail. They need to be set up here. And would you price up? I'd price up anything.
Yeah. Of course.
I'll find a way to price up anything.
Yeah, definitely, 100%.
Like I said, we all just see opportunities in things. Like I think when I only knew the specific date of Corona because I was a week away of getting stuck out in America when it happened. Like, you know, they cancelled flights for a bit.
Yeah.
I literally flew back and a week later, like, flight suspended. So I remember at that time, I probably hadn't spoke to James for a couple of weeks. And because I was out there for like 6 weeks or something after you left Vegas. Mm-hmm. And I flew back and then I remember this whole pandemic thing started and I started selling pasta as well because we had a supplier anyway, and pasta was sold out in shops and flour. Do you remember, like, everyone was making banana bread and toilet rolls and stuff? Anyway, I had suppliers for these things, so I started selling pasta, sold like a couple tons of pasta, rice, flour. Like, I was selling mad stuff. And I remember speaking to him, and he's like, "Yeah, I've started selling PPE and all that stuff." Like, we saw the opportunities, That
PPE was crazy. I used to be able to put a LinkedIn post, and I would just put like these KN95s, which is a mask. And I would get like orders for 20 grand, 25 grand from a LinkedIn post.
Really?
Bro, I was mad. I was going on a Sunday and I would just get like, I think we did like 50 grand. It's like, we don't even open Sunday. No one even works non-working days in my business. But suddenly I'm getting 50 grand orders on a Sunday. I remember it was so much fun. I went back to selling. It was a blast.
Yeah.
But then what happened is I ended up having to refund almost all of it because they kept changing the legislation on the PPE. And then obviously I got robbed. So like between it all, it wasn't worth it, but it kept me busy for a summer.
Yeah.
You know?
It's cool when there's a rush like that, like a gold rush for a new product. Like that's what Corona was like. Like it was just a money grab. Like everything was selling.
You had a load of people panicking and then you had a load of money just being pumped into the economy and the opportunists were there to take it.
Yeah.
And like what happened is these virtue signalers came out and they were like, oh, you made money during Corona, bruh. Corona was fake. You know it was fake. And if you can make money during Corona, then good, because you didn't sit around playing computer games for a year. And if you're going to sit there and judge the people who sat around, then you're a real loser and it can't be helped.
Yeah, even, I remember I was buying these pastas, you could buy 12 kilos of pasta for less than a tenner, right? And I was selling one bag, so there's 4 bags in this box, I was selling one bag for £25 and it was costing me like £2. It's crazy.
I remember I went into your place.
They took me off eBay.
Did they?
Yeah.
I remember I went into your place. You had like, it's like Pasta City. You had pallets of pasta.
Yeah, insert clip. Yeah, literally, you walked into my shop, we just stopped serving, we just had piles of pasta to the ceiling. Like, everywhere you go, piles of bags of rice, everything.
What did your shop generally sell?
Oh, before it was like a dessert shop.
Oh, okay. So, then you just had bags of pasta.
Well, yeah, basically what happened is we took out all our seating area because we're like, okay, no one can sit here, let's take it all out. And we are so busy in Corona on Deliveroo. Our kitchen was like halfway through the shop and we had like a shisha area around the back. And because it was so busy and no one could come in, we moved our kitchen, like a small kitchen, to the back. So we had a massive kitchen now, like, I don't know, 6 meter by 6 meter kitchen. So it's pretty big. And then the whole front of the shop was just empty, just like flooring, walls, that's it. So then I saw the opportunity in pasta. I was like, well, pasta on eBay is like £25 a bag. Yeah. I get it for £2. And I started selling it and I got blocked for price gouging. But then like I put up like a Facebook post. People just come in to buy pasta.
That's mad.
Flour, rice, just anything.
What is price gouging for the people who don't know?
It's just when you're like overpricing something, you're like buying tickets, buying anything and reselling it for more.
And how do they decide whether it's gouging or not?
Don't know. It's just unfair in it again. Like other companies can do it, but you can't. You know, they get a bit of pressure and they'll be like, "Oh, you can't do it, but this company can sell it for this much." You know?
Yeah, yeah.
And it depends product to product because it was an essential product to kind of get it. Because now you got a normal person can't afford to eat pasta. You know, like 25 pound for a 3 kilo bag of pasta is crazy.
It is. Yeah, I'm telling you,
but it's a free market though. You know?
Yeah, and also like I said, a box of gloves was £1 for a box of gloves. Yeah, and then it went to like £8.50 for a box of gloves.
They've never returned though to this price because I used to get boxes of gloves for like £3.50, £4, like the good quality ones, and now they're like £12 still. It's
mental, man.
Yeah, everything's definitely gone up in price.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Food's like double what it used to be.
Yeah.
It is. What's the next business for you then? Is there a third business, you think?
I don't know.
Do you want a third business or are you done already?
No, I'm not done.
No?
Definitely not done.
I don't mean done. I mean, like, is there any more time left in Carly's day?
Well, there's not at the moment. But yeah, I really want to try and get this social media agency off the ground. You know, it might just remain just me, but I am kind of already getting to the stage I do need at least one other person.
Right, yeah.
So already in my head, I'm going to like have an office in the Shard and like everyone's going to be working for me.
Nice, we'll see you there. We'll turn up.
How much
BroNups to do one there.
Yeah. How much do you charge to manage socials anyway?
It depends on the client. Like if you want basic management of your account, like if you can't be bothered to like do your own posting and this and that, it'll be like £250.
Yeah.
What if you want like to manage your post, but also maybe do a more personal one where like say you can message that person's girlfriend for them, keep a happy life for them at home too.
Yeah, that's going to cost you a lot.
Just so like, I don't contact her enough. She wants these good morning texts and everything. Just take my social media and make me the ideal boy. You can do that?
I don't know about that.
That's some tailor-made service that...
Yeah.
You get AI to do that.
Yeah, I was just going to say, let's get into AI.
Yeah.
So...
Nice. So the Shard is where we're going to be recording part 2 of the podcast.
Really?
With you.
Oh, I thought you were
waiting for you.
I thought you had someone else lined up.
No, we're waiting for you to sign the lease. We're waiting for you to sign the lease.
Yeah, so I'll sign the lease in there. I've already looked actually because they've got some offices available, but you can imagine the London prices. They're ridiculous. So I need to make a lot more money.
You need some more London customers then and you're done.
Yeah,
There's that exactly. Shard's kind of like second class now. There's that other building. What's it called?
The walkie-talkie?
Gherkin?
No, not the Gherkin. It's next to the Gherkin, but it's kind of flat. It's like a gherkin which is sliced. Is that where The Apprentice is filmed?
The Apprentice is filmed in the Gherkin.
Is it in the Gherkin?
Yeah, but there's a funny shaped building. It's kind of
It looks like the Gherkin, but it's been sliced. Like one side's been sliced off it.
I don't know.
Yeah, I had a meeting in this building, but it's crazy inside. But that's where The Apprentice is filmed. It might be the Gherkin, but it's so cool. Like you go up, and then you got like food always out. You got like really nice toilets. It's crazy.
Nice.
And they got like a chef which comes in for breakfast and stuff. Like, it's mad.
Yeah, I love working up in London. Everyone else sees it as a hassle. Like, I never get. People say to me, "You drive to London?" I'm like, I would never get the train.
Too good for public transport.
Yeah, I'm not doing that peasant business. But
you got us to cut that out.
Cut that out.
Nah, staying now. Staying.
No, I don't.
You're gonna lose customers now. We're giving her too much money.
I don't do public transport now, but I love to drive anyway. Nice. I love to drive. Like last time I went up to London, it took me 5 hours to get into the centre of London. I don't care.
And you've got a lovely CLA 45, haven't you?
I have, yeah.
Sick.
That's like me though. I just like the convenience of having my car. I can put my stuff in there. Like you got like a little base, you know.
Yeah,
same that's why I like driving to Holland. It's just you don't mess around with bags.
My mum said to me the other day, like I had to go up to London for business, and I did end up staying in the Shard because like I just love it in there. Valet parking, right? Yeah. She went, you drove your car up to the Shard and gave it to the valet to go and park it for you. I went, listen to me now. I said, valet parking overnight is £52 at the Shard, right?
Yeah.
I said, you go to the NCP round the corner, it's £124. I was like, I don't know.
£124 for a night?
Yeah. Crazy. I was like, London prices.
That makes no sense. So I do that often because valet parking sometimes at hotels can work out and
some of those houses in London, man, they literally take the car and like move it up and down, like lift it, like they've got crazy setups.
When I park it at the Shard, they take a video of them parking the car because it's like these there's one of them in the Mirage in the building that I'm in the bar. You know these like stacking things.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I've seen that. You just drive it in and it drops it down and stacks it like 5 high.
It does all that out there. So they record it because they told me, oh, your vehicle could get this notification saying you've been in an accident, where it's actually just that shaking it around and stuff. So yeah, they like literally film the whole process.
No. Can I ask, because I think it'd be interesting for a clip and we can put some stuff like with this in terms of footage, but like what is the craziest like experience when you turn up the Shard? Talk us through it, because I think it's pretty wild, isn't it?
There's nothing too crazy there.
So they take your car, they put it into this like up and down machine.
Yeah, they put it in the up and down machine. Like, obviously, you go in, like check in. There was nothing that mad about it. The maddest thing for me is the Japanese toilets in there. That's the whole reason I go up there.
Why? What's a Japanese toilet?
Well, you sit on it, it's warm, it washes you, it dries you,
right, nice.
powders you up.
My granddad's got that.
You. Yeah, I'm going to get them. I'm moving soon, and I've already decided I'm having them
Is
in
it
my
the
new
one
house.
with the remote?
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, in there, they've got a thing on the wall, but you can get one to remote.
Like, you could choose the temperature of the water to wash your bum.
Yeah,
with
yeah,
that,
yeah,
and
yeah.
the dryer.
I used to sell bathrooms, and we had it was like, the buttons, you could choose, like, spray comes out, it's like directional, you could choose
a dryer as well,
Crazy,
the dryer.
Yeah, so in the toilets, in the bars, in the Shard, they've got all them, but in the rooms, they've got them as well.
Yeah. Oh, wow.
And they have like the bathtub overlooks like the view. It's like, just all the windows. That's really nice.
Yeah.
In there.
Nice.
I don't know what it is. Everyone says, why do you love it in there so much? I said, I don't know. It's just like, you get these places that you like and it's familiar to you and you just like go in there.
I know what you mean.
Yeah.
Yeah, London's nice. I love London.
Yeah, sick.
Nice. I think we're about an hour in. So
Oh, wait. Oh, my God.
Good, isn't it?
Talking for days.
Yeah.
So before we check out, anything you want to add? Do you want to plug yourself, plug your socials? Final time. Make sure this is 3 times now, so you're going to not follow Carly.
Should we ask a question to keep it consistent with our female people?
Go on then.
I
don't remember what questions are. I've asked all my questions over the time.
Yeah, so we asked the previous girl, entrepreneur as well, obviously. Do you find it hard dating or finding the guy as like a woman who makes money or not?
Not for me at the moment, because my other half, I got with him when I had nothing. Literally nothing.
Yeah.
I'd say he probably does find it hard, actually, because I've turned into this completely different person to that he first met.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I would probably say, like, other friends of mine that make money and stuff, they find it hard finding guys. Yeah.
Is that because guys are intimidated or because you make more money?
Yeah, really intimidated. Yeah, and I can see that.
So you mean you can see it? Do you see boys like tripping over their words trying to speak to you? Are they?
Yeah.
They are?
Yeah, yeah. Men act totally different towards me now than they used to.
Do they really?
Yeah, I used to get like approached quite a lot. Like if I'd go out with my friends or like whatever, I'd really like get approached a lot. And now, I don't know. It just...
Are you missing some of that attention?
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. I still get some. But no, I don't know. I just know that men act differently towards me now, and I knew if I was on the dating scene, I think I would find it a lot harder than I used to. Maybe I'm delusional and I'm just getting older and that's why they don't like me. But
I know you're married and
I'm not married.
You're not married.
No.
Okay, well just out of interest then, you said that they would find it more difficult. Do you think you would find it more difficult to be attracted to, say, normal run-of-the-mill guys because now you're so focused and you're so ambitious that if someone wasn't at least as ambitious as you and say he was like, I can't be bothered to go apply for this job, would you...
That would be instant turn off.
And previously, maybe it wouldn't have been under the magnifying glass so much.
No, not at all, because I've been out with people like that. Like I'm not going to name names. I know I almost did then. Yeah. People I've been out with previously. You
could have put their initials in if you want.
Been really lazy, and I've put up with that.
Yeah.
Now, I would never put up with any sort of behaviour like that. Ever.
So now it's like, I might go to work today, lazy bastard.
I'd be gone. I'd be like, you're not for me, mate.
So it'd be like the Carly at work. You'd be walking out on all your boys.
Yeah, and I do look back now when we were talking about that earlier. I can't believe I acted like that.
Yeah. You know what? I've been the same. I was a model employee at Dreams for like a year or 2 years, and then the minute I wanted to quit, I just walked out. It was horse.
Were you actually a model employee? Actually, you're a good salesperson, so you don't need to do nothing else.
Me, Rob Shaw, and Luke as well, we were knocking out the park. So good. We would just clean up. I think because we were so ambitious, so hungry for it, we're consistently the best in the company. Yeah, that was 1,000 sales staff. In November, I was the best salesperson, and Rob in the December was the best. Like, it wasn't that hard to be the best because we wanted it so much.
Yeah.
But then the minute I didn't want it, I had less than no respect. I was a teenager. Yeah. If someone did this to me now, I'd be annoyed, and I wouldn't act this way now. Yeah. This is not judging the way you act. I just think you should walk out on people. I think you should hold down your duty.
Yeah, it's nice, and as a business owner, and it's not nice to be left high and dry.
No.
You know what I mean?
And I understand that. Yeah, I understand that a lot more now. Like, say on a Saturday night, like this Saturday, if somebody lets me down, I'm buggered.
You're screwed, yeah.
So yeah, a bit more respect for
That's what I hate about the whole the food business. If you get let down by one member of staff, like if you got a head chef, you're done.
Yeah, one domino topples everything.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, so close up the episode. James Lake Show, Instagram.
Social Media with Carly, Instagram.
Shiz GZ.
Nice, guys. See you next week.